Hi and welcome to another one of our videos where today I'm going to be looking at the squat and comparing a back squat versus a front squat, or front squat versus a back squat. So I've got a video here of me on the left with the barbell on my shoulders. You can't on the front as a front squat, and then on the right you can see it's on my back here as the back squat. So I'm going to play two videos together, and we'll sort of have a look at them and break them down for you and explain the difference between the two. Alright, so if we play it in real time, I'll get you to look at the first go. I'll just make this video a bit easier to see. Alright, so we'll keep going. Have a look at another one. Alright, so if we break it down here, and we'll have a look at the angles. That's really what I'm looking for here, and this will help to explain. They're both good exercises, just sometimes one might be a better choice for someone than the other. And if we start with the front squat here, you can sort of see how my shin sort of comes out on this angle like this, and my spine sort of goes a bit more upright, goes away from it, so that they're not sort of parallel to each other, a much more upright position. You can't quite see, if in a minute I might show you from behind, but my elbows have got to be like right out in front of me. If they dip down like that, that barbell is going to go forward, and it's going to get awkward real quick. All right, so it's going to be a horrible position. But the main thing to sort of see here, and this is why the front squat is probably my preferred choice with people if they can do it, this will definitely load up the legs a lot more, and it doesn't load the back anywhere near as much as long as you have good technique. If your technique is horrible, you will feel it in the back. All right, but on the back squat, you can get a little bit sloppy on this one, and this is where people probably prefer the back squat and really can load it up quite a lot, but their technique on the front squat falls apart real fast. So on the back squat, you can sort of see the angle. If we look at these angles again, they're very almost pretty much parallel to each other, where on the front squat I'm a little bit more upright, and I'll probably still have that same shin angle there, but the posture on the front squat is much different. All right, so the main difference is here, I will definitely probably get a little bit more help from my glutes on this one than I will on this one. This one I'm really placing a hell of a lot of work through the quads. On this one, if you do get sloppy, the load eventually goes into the back, and we see people who don't get the angle right here, they sort of come straight up instead of forward like that, then their bum goes back too far and they're like that. If you were to do that on this one, you would drop that bar. You wouldn't even be able to do one. On this one though, you can get away with it because that bar won't get past your head. All right, so this is where I would prefer to do this one, and even if you hated it, then go heavy on this one and get away with the poor technique to a certain degree, and eventually you won't get away with it. But this one really, the front squat demands much more precise techniques, and that's also why most people can't handle the load as well. So I'll just play it a couple of times, and you can sort of see the difference in the two, how I have to stay more upright, and you'll see how when we come behind, to get an example of from behind, it looks very much the same, to be honest. I'll keep playing this one because it goes into where I do a front squat straight after it, and we'll have a look at it behind. And you'll see how my elbows will have to stay at the bottom. You can see I sort of lose them a little bit, but if they're pretty horizontal. If they start to point downward like that, it's going to be over with very quickly. But you can see like my posture is quite good there. Like I haven't loaded it up too much, but just for the sake of the video, I can sort of hold it for you. But you can get a good example here of why I would regard this as a superior squat. Much more challenging. The core, if you're doing it with a clean grip like I've got here, you can use little stingray things where you can have the arms folded over, and that's a lot easier. And you can some people don't have the flexibility in their hand and their wrist to do that, and that's fine. You can still do the exercise with little things to help you, but getting the angles right, all these sort of things, that's the key. So a great exercise for building some strength into your legs, obviously. And like I said several times, if you haven't done the front squat before or you've avoided it, I would really try to spend the time to work it out, as it'll give you a huge bang for your buck. All right, so that's the difference between the back squat and the front squat, and hope you've enjoyed that, and see you on our next one.